Hello.
Hello.
Good to meet y'all.
What is going on, good people? First day of MiniCamp is in the books. The media was in the building. Beat writers in the building. My timeline was flooded with information. I love it. No better way to start MiniCamp than getting all the information that you want. Shout out to the beat writers. Shout out to all the reporters out there. Shout out to everybody that has anything to do with the Giants organization for keeping us on point and on top of all the information. But that being said, hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. I'm excited right now, man. This is the most excited I've been in a long time for the New York Giants. Like even when Brian Daboll first got here in 2022, I was excited about the changes, but I didn't have high expectations. This year, I'm excited for the changes that were made on the roster. And also I have high expectations because of the roster. And again, this is all on paper. I understand. I know this. We got to see the things happen for real. Everybody will tell you something different. They'll tell you to pump the brakes. Don't get too excited. I'm telling you right now, get excited. Be excited. Don't curb your enthusiasm, because you know what? Once these real games start and we start getting real results, who knows what's going to happen for real. So if I can be excited right now and I'm not grumpy, Scrooge McDuck all throughout the rest of the summer, I would rather have it that way. Last year I was upset and grumpy and all that other stuff because you kind of knew what was happening. Wasn't real any changes being made, blah, 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 whatever. But right now, with what the New York Giants have done in the offseason, shout out to Joe Shane. He was on the Believe podcast with Bob Papa, Biz, and Carl Banks last night. Got some good tidbits from him as well. But again, and if Joe Shane, if you're watching, and I put this in the comment section during the live, so I don't know if you saw this, but formally, I apologize. I apologize, and I will be quiet because you have done a great job this offseason. Again, a lot of this stuff is on paper, but yeah, I apologize. I wanted you out of here. You seem to making some good moves. I was wrong for right now. I apologize respectfully. Now let's talk about this. If you are not subscribed to this channel and you are a New York Giants fan, what are you doing? What are you doing? You got the time right now, and it's free. Doesn't cost you a dime. It's free. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you are a New York Giants fan, the way that I'm a New York Giants fan, and that's bleeding blue no matter what. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Join the family. Go ahead and share too if you feel that way. So let's talk about today's practice, right? And the way I like to start these recaps, I like to talk about injuries, right? And luckily for us, everything has been pretty much the same. The guys that we know are injured or dealing or rehabbing are pretty much doing the same thing. But we did get some news early in practice today. Jalen Hyatt, has had a little issue with his leg. He was seen on the sideline getting stretched out, then ultimately had to walk off the field. Now, the key point to that phrase is he walked off the field. So I'm loving it. When somebody says somebody has a leg injury, but you're also able to walk off the field, I'm good with that. That means I can be optimistic. Now, it is not an ideal time, of course. He has been having a great summer so far, so you would hate to see, man have to deal with an injury. But this is the best time to have an injury, especially if it's a slight or not anything serious, because after MiniCamp, I believe we're only doing 2 practices now. Before, I thought we were doing 3 days, but I saw some reports today saying that there's only going to be 2 MiniCamp practices, and I'm not sure what they're going to be doing on the 19th. But anyway, you got a month off to rehab, to heal, and be better and be ready for training camp. So even though I hated to hear the news about Jalen Hyatt going down today, I'm happy that he'll have enough time to rehab and hopefully be ready, for training camp, which I believe he will. It's a big season coming up for Jalen Hyatt, and hopefully we can unlock him like Jameis Winston says. Let's go ahead and drop the ball in the bucket. Make this guy better. All right, so Daboll was at the podium today, and he made a couple of comments. He did say that he's been tweaking the way that he's doing these OTAs based on what they've done in the previous practice. So they have practice on Tuesday. He takes whatever he's seen at practice on Tuesday, and then when Wednesday gets here, he's making changes and adjustments to how he's going to practice that day. So if guys are doing a fantastic job in one area, maybe they focus more in the area that guys weren't at the top of their game. That's what I got from that comment. Also, and I got my handy dandy notebook here. He said he is not worried about the guys that are rehabbing. So that'd be, your Dexter Lawrences, your Andrew Thomases, your Malik Neighbors. Even though Dexter Lawrence was participating in individual drills like he has been doing, throughout OTAs, Brian Daboll does not have a concern that that these guys won't be ready for training camp. So, that's music to my ears. And again, what else is the coach going to say at this point in time? He don't want anybody to panic. And I say thank you for not, making me panic. But I wish I would have seen a little bit of Malik Neighbors or Russ to Malik Neighbors or Jameis to Malik Neighbors, even Dart to Malik Neighbors. I would have loved to see some of that during OTAs or minicamp, but that's not going to happen. Also, he talked about Dart and says Dart has been great at picking up the information, picking up the scheme, picking up the offense. Also said that he has been both aggressive but also smart with the ball. So he's taking care of the ball but still pushing the ball, and that was that point was made today when he had a nice pass. I believe it was to Theo Johnson, but I'll check my notes. But he hit somebody in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown today, and it was a nice throw. Dart, getting right over Nubin, for the play. But I'll correct that because I got my notes for that as well. Daboll also said that he has been very, very impressed with the young wide receivers. Now, again, the whole wide receiver room is pretty much young outside of Slayton, and even he's not that old. But he said when he was talking about these wide receivers, he's also talking about the UDFAs, and I'll get into that a little bit later. We had 2 UDFAs that had a pretty good day today. Actually, not even pretty good day, a really good day, and they're stacking good practices on top of each other, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So the assistant coaches were at the not at the podium, but the assistant coaches did have interviews today. They were open to questions from the media. First guy I saw that they were getting quotes from was Carmen Brasillo. And Carmen Brasillo, basically, the first thing they asked him about was Evan Neal. That's all people really be caring about now is Evan Neal and the move to guard. Well, he said that Evan Neal is embracing this move to guard. He says that, hold on, let me get the notes. He said that Neal has been playing both sides. Now, I've been researching all of these OTAs, and I have not seen anybody mention Evan Neal on the right side getting snaps at the right guard. I've seen everything say that he has been getting his snaps at left guard, but if the coach saying he's working on both sides, I got to go with what the coach is saying. The media does not have access to all of the practices. So with that being said, even though we haven't seen him on the right side in any of these clips or anything like that, the coach is saying that Evan Neal is working both left and right side, which makes me think that competition on the right side is a lot more fierce than I thought it was a week ago. Like last week, I thought it was just Van Roten, Cubis. I never really thought Stinney was in the mix to be a starter. But now that I know that Evan Neal is working both sides, according to Carmen Brasillo, then you put his name also in that matchup with Van Roten, Cubis, and now Evan Neal on that right side, and that makes a lot of sense as well. But from what we've seen, even on the clip that Abdul Carter leaked, Evan Neal was on the left side. Just saying. He Brasillo also said that competition is a good thing. He spoke about Marcus Bowe being versatile and playing in learning a lot of spots or different spots along the offensive line. Now we draft him as a right tackle. A lot of people feel like he has the feet to be a tackle, to be on the outside. Other people say his arms are a little short, so can you put him in that guard? And then some people say he can even be a center. But today, in some of these practice notes, we saw that not only was he getting reps at right tackle, but he was also getting reps at left tackle. So that was something that I saw. Put an asterisk next to it and love to see it. Next, he talked about JMS, and JMS continued to improve. He also talked about Joshua Zudu and Jake Cubis being smart and tough options, as well as the offensive line. And then he talked about the addition of Hudson, the free agent we got out of Cleveland, swing tackle, saying that he's been a good addition, and also he's still getting used to the system. So that was it from Carmen Brasillo. Again, the offensive line is going to play a vital role in the success of of this season, not just protecting the quarterback, but also being able to run the ball. So again, whenever we can get these tidbits from the assistant coaches, especially somebody like Priscillo, I always take note to those things. Next assistant coach that they talked to was Grow, the wide receivers coach. And again, when we're talking wide receivers, the guy that has been stealing the show so far, this OTAs was Jalen Hyatt. And we said this a little bit earlier too. It says Hyatt worked hard on getting his body right and adding play strength, and he's been very pleased with the progress for Jalen Hyatt. Again, I think everybody has been feeling the same way about Jalen Hyatt. There were a lot of question marks, a lot of people that were doubting Jalen Hyatt. And again, we have to see it during the season, but we can see it on the field and in practice that he has gotten bigger. Looks like he appears to be stronger, but also kept his speed. So hopefully, once we see these preseasons, he can actually, build on top of that. He also said that Wilson impacts the defense because the team has speed to use his deep ball. So again, the main thing that Daboll has been wanting to do since he got here was push the ball downfield. He came from Buffalo, where one of the best quarterbacks is out there pushing the ball downfield. That's something that he's been chasing since he got here. Now he's saying it, and now the wide receivers coach is saying it, that they want to take advantage of what Russell Wilson does best, and that's the deep ball, and that's something that he can help us out with. And I agree with that. Also, when talking about Neighbors, again, that nobody's happy that Neighbors is not playing, but again, they know what's important. And obviously Neighbors will be ready to go. He's getting all those mental reps on the side, and during installs he is on the field, just not being able to participate in the drills and also in team activity. And next, I had a quick quote from Shea Tierney, and he was pretty much just saying that they have a plan for Dart, and they will adjust that plan as time goes by. Now, I think this comes up because we've seen reports of Jackson Dart jumping in front of Jameis Winston as QB2. Well, in practice today, it was a little bit different. Jackson Dart, in the first part of team drills, was not the QB2. It was Jameis Winston. But I just thought that was, something that they're saying about Jackson. They want to be smart when it comes to Jackson Dart. They don't want to throw him out there to the wolves too soon. And everything we've heard so far is, he's picking up the offense very well from Daboll. He's impressed by him. He's excellent. There's a lot of words that they're giving us when it comes to Jackson Dart. But again, we'll see what happens in preseason and when the live bullets start flying, for the most part, respectfully. He did also say that he's excited to add good players, especially, when it's people that you coach. So obviously for Shea Tierney being a quarterback's coach, this is almost in an entirely new room. You got your future franchise quarterback in Jackson Dart. That's what we believe. Then you also got Russell Wilson in the building. You have Jameis Winston. Also, you bring back Tommy DeVito. For him, it has to be exciting as a coach, and he expressed that, especially when this guy's in the position room that he coaches. And then another note was some players that they came in for tryouts. I put the list up here. I believe we had a safety, Millard Bradford. We also had safety Kayvon Wallace, former Eagle. Outside linebacker Kenny Dyson, and then we had a guard also in for a tryout. That was Garrett O'Donnell. Don't know who Garrett O'Donnell is. I'm gonna have to Google that man later. Just me being honest. Got 2 pages of notes, man. Again, this was the first day of minicamp. I'm excited. So let's talk about some of these practice notes. I'm just going to review some of the other things. Again, Hyatt did leave early today, but in his absence, Daboll said he was impressed by the UDFAs and all these young wide receivers. In his absence today, Bo Collins had himself a day. Had himself a pretty good practice. Stepped up today. Fantastic. He's continuing to impress the coaching staff and even the players around him. So he did catch a touchdown from Russ today, and I believe that was on 7-on-7. Russ also had a touchdown to Theo Johnson in the corner in the corner of the end zone. That was a moon ball from Russ, and we keep hearing the moon ball. Like, people are dropping balls and buckets, paws, and all this other stuff. But guess what? Guys are catching it. It is what it is. Even that is a pause. That's crazy. Let's see what else I got here. They also talked about Abdul Carter. Said he was very disruptive today. At one point in time, there were 3 straight plays where he disrupted the pass. And I'm loving that. 2 would-be sacks and another pass deflection. Another UDFA wide receiver, Dalen Combre, got involved today. He got a touchdown from Jameis Winston and also Jackson Dart today. And I talked about it earlier. Marcus Bowe did play or get some snaps at left tackle with the first, second, and the third team. So that's pretty big in my opinion. And then I got the QB breakdowns. And this is coming from beat writer Connor Hughes. Russ went 9 for 13. And this is for 11 on 11s only. Russ went 9 for 13 for 2 touchdowns. Dart went 9 for 11 for 1 touchdown. Jameis Winston went 7 for 13 for 2 touchdowns, and it looks like DeVito only went 0 for 1. Don't know what that's about, but it is what it is. Dart did not participate in the 7-on-7 team drills earlier in practice, but again, he did participate in 11-on-11. So that's going to be the wrap up for the practice notes. The last thing I want to talk about is some of the player quotes for after practice. Did have some players on the podium, starting with Kayvon Thibodeau. So it's funny to me too, because the first thing that the beat writers asked about when it came to Kayvon Thibodeau was asking him about Abdul Carter, and he pretty much said Abdul Carter is a beast. That's a quote. He says constant growth mindset. So we already know, and it's been said by a lot of different beat writers, that Abdul Carter is no nonsense. That fits right in with New York. He brings the energy. That in the third, he's a fun player, but he is no nonsense. So I love to hear that from Kayvon Thibodeau. He also says that Tibbs himself, he feels healthy, fast, strong, and excited in regards to how he feels this year, coming off of a season where he was dealing with some injuries. But he feels healthy, fast, strong, and excited for this season. He also said that he is a double-digit sack guy. I believe it. He's done it before. I believe he can do it. As long as his defense is able to stop the run, I think that would help all of the edge rushers, in their sack totals for sure. He also said that Holland is a field general and has been so since his days at Oregon. They played together at Oregon. I think that's super cool that they're able to reunite. Again, Holland is what we're looking at as one of the top guys that we picked up this offseason as far as free agents. So I'm excited to see what Holland does this year. And then he also said that the defense has more confidence this year. He said, and he's just sticking to the grind, not worried about any outside expectations. It's funny to me because I didn't see the question that led up to that. I did put out a video a couple weeks ago talking about what this defense is capable of. At the end of that video, I did talk about Kayvon Thibodeau being one of those guys that need to step up, and hopefully, he's not taking that as a knock. I say he should be able to step up. Why? Because I believe in his talent. I believe he can be the guy that we expected him to be and have those same type of results numbers game in and game out, moving towards, the 2025 season. Next, Russell Wilson was at the podium, and he's been at the podium for a few times now, so I didn't write down too many quotes because for the most part he's reiterating a lot of the things that he stands by. But he said the team has grown so much every day to the point that he wishes they didn't even have a break before training camp. He is enjoying this progress so much he doesn't want the progress to end, but it is what it is. Then he also says greatness comes from I'll get the quote right. I'm going to read this directly, right? He says, greatness comes from the incremental gains daily. Doing your best every day and helping them, meaning other teammates, to be their best as well. So shout out to Russell Wilson. Again, nobody's going to deny that he brings leadership to this team to a point where we haven't seen this type of leadership possibly since Eli Manning, if we're really going to be honest here. But again, nothing bad to say about Russell Wilson. He's doing it at practice on the field. He's also doing it at the podium, saying the right things. And even away from football, he's taking the guys out to bowl. He's taking these guys out for dinner. He's keeping the team together, building that chemistry, not just with the offense, but with the entire team. And I think that's a very cool thing. Again, we haven't seen leadership like this in a long time, and it feels good to see it. The last guy I want to talk about that was at the podium was going to be Jameis Winston. He did have a couple of quotes. He's full of quotes, so I just want to take down some of these notes or read you guys some of these notes. He says the QBs are grinding and learning the offense daily. When you think about it, the room is entirely new outside of Tommy DeVito, so of course they have to be on their grind to learn this playbook. Everybody's new in here. He also said that he's known Russell Wilson since 2013. He said that Wilson is a leader, playmaker, and a true pro. And the same thing people have been saying, like you really can't question the leadership. You can say what you want to say about Russell Wilson personality. If you don't agree with that, play on the field has gone down. He's not the young guy anymore, but his leadership His leadership should not be questioned. He's doing a lot of things for these players on and off the field. He also talked about this defense. Now, they've been dealing with the defense, especially in 11-on-11s. We haven't seen that because the beat writers aren't allowed to record during 11-on-11s. But he's saying that how tenacious his defense is. He's excited for the defense as well. And you know, we have big things in store there. He also said that a note for Wilson was Wilson has the same locker that he had when he won the Super Bowl in MetLife so many years ago with the Seattle Seahawks. So I thought that was pretty cool. One thing, I don't know if it's like a superstitious thing or anything like that, but I do know that, hey, I won a Super Bowl in this locker room. I want that same type of feeling. It might sound corny. It might seem strange, but to me, I like it. I like it. He also said that he is not concerned about his position on the depth chart. Again, we've seen the rumors where he's been QB2 and then he's QB3. He's not concerned about anything like that. He just wants to get better. And another quote that he says is that the goal is to win a Super Bowl. The goal is to win a Super Bowl, man. He was asked other questions about his character as well. And, you know, he said that when he first got here, you know, he didn't have the best reputation for his character of being a team player. And now that has absolutely flipped, and he works hard. He's intentional, you know, with what he does day to day to make sure that, you know, he has that, I guess, that reputation around the league. But that's going to be the video. I can't even say it's a quick recap. We're like 20 minutes in, but it was MiniCamp. It was thorough. It's going to be a long break after this. We're not going to get any much news, so I want to make sure I was thorough with this recap. You guys let me know if you got any questions in the comment section down below. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.